Welcome to the Mac and Hui podcast.
I'm Mac,
I'm Hui.
and welcome to our podcast.
Today we're at a different setting, obviously. We're in the iconic KCR room at San Diego State,
Lambden Hall, the basement. Ooh, the basement.
right across from the Daily Aztec, where me and Mac spent most of our time here at State.
That's right. And KCR has two buildings that they currently occupy. One is the communications building, which is where they have all the live radio shows. And then here, right here in the basement of Lambden Hall, is where all the podcasting takes place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's get right into it. Let's get right into some NBA talk. Preseason's gonna come up soon. The regular season is in less than a month, so we can go right into the notable NBA offseason moves, who the favorites are, and what to look for in the NBA for this upcoming season.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, that is a tremendous player. He is 35, 36 years of age.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he's going to be heading into year 6 for the Miami Heat. And for Jimmy Butler, ever since he got to Miami, every year that he has been healthy, the Heat have gone to at least Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And then the other seasons where he has not been healthy, they have been first-round exits. So he is a tremendous, tremendous impactful player.
He doesn't seem like he's stopping anytime soon despite that age. I was surprised when you said 36. I thought he was like 32, 33. Yeah, he is amazing on both ends. He can shoot. Not elite but he can definitely be a threat from out there. His athleticism, again, has not taken a step back at all. He's going to make an impact wherever he goes for the next 2 to 3 years, I'm guessing, unless some type of major injury.
And he's a dog.
Indeed.
Great dog. He will fight for his team. That's a leader. That is a guy that I want to play alongside. Jimmy Butler.
Paul George.
And another guy who spent the last 5 years with the LA Clippers, his hometown, born and raised in that area. I think it was Palmsdale. He says that he's from Palmsdale. So Paul George, PG-13. He's one of my favorite players. And we talked about this, is that you were surprised that Paul George is like the player that our generation looks up to.
Well, I wouldn't say he's one of the, what is the word? Like the Dragon Heads or the Mount Rushmores. Like if we're talking about the Curry era, I don't think George is up there. But when it comes to a bag and highlights, then absolutely. Like he's up there with Kyrie, I think, when it comes to handles and
6'9" Kyrie.
6'9" Kyrie. Yeah, he's beautiful to watch.
The reason why so many people our generation look up to Paul George is because he's tall and he can dribble the basketball like crazy at his size, 6'9", and have that crazy dribble package. And he can shoot, and he can defend multiple positions, and he's got a really nice layup package. And he just watching him on the floor, just watching him move, just watching him dribble the basketball, I watch Paul George, and that guy, he's the guy where I go, man, that boy nice.
Oh yeah.
That is why, ladies and gentlemen, everyone wants to be like Paul George these days. Paul George may not be the best player out of this generation. That title goes to LeBron James. But Paul George is certainly one of the best players of this generation, and that is the player that most kids look up to these days. PG-13.
Kind of corny that he changed the number just so he can call himself that.
Nah, I think he already would have been PG-13 right from the beginning, because he was number 24. He started off his career in Indiana, number 24. And then while he's still in Indiana, at one point he did change it to number 13, and then became PG 13. And then he went to Oklahoma City, stayed as number 13. Went to the Clippers, stayed at number 13. And now he is going to be number 8 for the Philadelphia
Oh
76ers.
yeah, I forgot about that. He is gonna be number 8.
Mm-hmm. And he's a big Kobe Bryant guy, too. So, Paul George said that he was a Clippers fan growing up, and his favorite player was Kobe Bryant. So, Paul George, he's worn number 24, and now he'll wear number 8, the two numbers that Kobe Bryant wore during his tremendous Hall of Fame career.
What? Who had the best off season? Which team had the best off season? And then I'm not. You know what I'm gonna ask you next? Who's had the worst off season?
Man, the best off season? I think Boston. I think Boston.
What they do?
They kept their guys.
Oh, that's it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's super important.
Don't fix what's not broken.
And because like there weren't any like big like there wasn't a team that had had multiple big moves where I could say, okay, clearly this team had the best off season. Like you look at the three all-star caliber players that were on the move. Paul George went to the Philadelphia 76ers. He's a top 15 player in the league, but I don't think that moves the needle enough for me where I can say, okay, I think they're a definitive, like, Eastern Conference Finals favorite. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers lose in the first round this year.
I know that a Philly first round exit seems as secure as death in Texas. But like you said, man, Paul George is elite. He will be on the NBA 100th anniversary team most likely. I think that he and Maxey and Embiid together is really, really good. Because Paul George, I know his defense isn't as good as it was, but he used to be very elite. And it was because he had other guys on that end with him to share that burden and to share fatigue, like spread the fatigue and energy out. So now that he's on a team that he can do that again, he's gonna be dangerous on both sides. I remember in OKC he was locked down. I remember in on the Pacers he was locked down because he had George and Stevenson and West Hibbert. That entire starting five was really, really well balanced. So now that he's back on a team where he can play second fiddle or even third fiddle, he's gonna be amazing.
Like I said, I think Philly's not really moving that needle for me, but they'll definitely be in that mix. And then one of the other big moves was DeMar DeRozan going from the Chicago Bulls and then going to the Sacramento Kings.
So random.
Yeah. I thought it was a great move by the Sacramento Kings, and to be a small market team and be able to sign a guy of DeMar DeRozan's caliber, tremendous move.
Not only that, he's very flashy. So he's gonna get views. He's gonna get the Kings on national TV.
Sacramento basically strengthened their strength. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be a playoff team. But to take that next step, I gotta see them take another leap on the defensive side of the basketball.
Fox is all right. Who's the shooting guard?
It's gonna be Fox, and then they have Malik Monk off the bench.
He's all right. His defense, actually, no, he might even be below average defender, huh? He's 6'3", can't really guard the two too well.
They just don't really have like a legitimate point of attack perimeter defender.
No, who's there? Harrison Barnes.
Keegan Murray.
All right. Keegan Murray. That's a bonus. It's all right.
Yeah, depending on the matchup, it really does.
Who's there for? Keegan Murray?
Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes. No, Harrison Barnes went to San Antonio.
What?
Yeah, I totally forgot. And Barnes went to San Antonio.
Spurs are a good 6-7 seed, I think.
You really believe that?
Yeah, Chris Paul. I mean, he's not gonna average 20 anymore. But he's gonna get his 8-9 assists, especially with Wemby. That's gonna be amazing.
I think a prime Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama
Oh, that's a chip.
hypothetically.
That's a
Yeah.
chip.
Into it's what is potentially Chris Paul's final year.
Really?
I mean, logically, I think so. I'm not like speculating on anything where like Chris Paul may have hinted that he said he's gonna retire, but like
It's
just
39.
basing off age
Point guards don't make it to 39, except if you're Stockton.
and Steph Curry too,
Oh,
because
okay,
shooting
yeah,
stays with
that's
you.
true. Yeah,
Shooting stays with you.
that's a lot of off-ball running though. I could see Curry retiring at 38, 39.
Yeah, I mean his condition is incredible, and he's still doing it at his age.
Yeah,
Spurs, I think they'll get a couple more wins this year.
at least one more. At least
At least one more.
they're
Okay,
terrible last.
safe bet, safe bet, safe bet.
When you have Sohan as your point guard instead of Chris Paul, yeah, it's gonna be different.
So we went over the Spurs, the Sixers, Sacramento Kings, and then one of the other big moves that involved an All-Star moving teams, DeJounte Murray going to the Pelicans.
How do you feel about that, Mr. New Orleans?
I think that this is what the doctor ordered because they've been needing a point guard, a playmaking point guard. I think DeJounte Murray, he's really good at that. He's a really good aggressive defender. He's made an All NBA defense, and he's not much of an outside shooter, but he can take a couple outside shots here and there.
So it's a Murray, McCollum, Jones, Zion, Valanciunas.
What about Bi?
Oh man,
And then Valanciunas went to Washington.
I'll cut that out. Wait, can he play the 4?
Oh yeah, he can go 1 through 5.
Can he play the 5?
Yeah, he's played the 5.
He's 6'8"?
Small ball. He's like 6'7", 6'8".
Dude, yeah, let him start at 5. Let him start at the 5.
Okay, okay,
Be cool.
okay.
I like small ball. I like 14, 15 Warriors.
Just gotta be able to gang rebound on the glass. I think that it just makes so much sense that CJ goes to the bench.
Whoa. Who does he? Yeah, who goes in the starting lineup?
You just start DeJounte
Hmm.
and Herb. That's your backcourt. Then you have Bi, Zion at the 3 and the 4. And then you can either play your veteran Daniel Tice at center, or you can play your rookie center, Yusuf Missy at the 5. Simple.
Daniel Tice is that center, that Celtic center, right?
Yeah, former Celtics center.
He's solid. He's a wall. Yeah, if you want to play big, that's definitely the lineup. But McCollum off the bench, man, he could play a Crawford, Lou Williams type thing. That'd be pretty dangerous.
I think that's perfect. It's not every day you see 4 guys on one team that scored at least 20 points per game last year. And so somebody's just going to have to go to the bench because it just makes sense. That way everybody can eat. And also, too, because CJ is that perfect prototype for a 6-man where 6-man players are very heavy isolation scorers.
Terrible defenders.
They're right. They can get picked on. They can get hunted on the defensive side of the ball, where teams are gonna want them on those switches. And those are typically those guys that can shoot you in a ball game, get you back into a ball game, even win you a ball game, or they can go ice cold and just completely sell your team out. So I think CJ is perfect in that 6-man role.
Couldn't agree more.
And those, we just went over those 3 big offseason moves. Paul George going to the Philadelphia 76ers. DeMar DeRozan going to Sacramento Kings. And then DeJounte Murray going to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Interesting offseason. Very interesting.
I think it was a really, really good offseason where in terms of like the last 5 years or so, we've had like all these crazy waves of like offseason moves. this one to those standards was a pretty normal offseason with just a couple of stars
Timid. Yeah, just a couple
moving.
stars.
So I think it's nice because I like to see a lot of continuality, or like I like to see a lot of the stars, not all the star players, stay on the same team unless they're kind of like a aging player that's still good but also needs to be on a new team where they have a great chance to win a championship, like Damian Lillard, who is going to be in his second year with the Milwaukee Bucks. So I think it was a nice NBA offseason.
Can't disagree. Now let me ask you this: who is your favorite?
My favorite to come out of the East,
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Whoa. Are you just trying to be different?
No,
You think they're better than the Celtics?
I think that I think that the Celtics are better, but I'll explain this
Okay.
because because I could see that in a 7 game series, let's say Eastern Conference Finals, it's Bucks Celtics. The Celtics could have a game or a couple of games where they go ice cold from three. You live by the three, you die by the three. I'll give you an example. It just happened last year. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Mm,
In like games 5 through 7, Michael Porter Jr. had a lot of open 3-point shots. They just didn't go in.
mm,
The Nuggets as a team, they shot poorly in game 6 and in game 7 from downtown, and that's what lost in the series. Denver was the better team than Minnesota. Minnesota deserved to win, and because Denver missed a lot of 3-point shots
mm,
late in the series, that contributed to Minnesota winning. It's like my point is that it's basketball. Denver, they had a lot of opportunities to make those open 3-point jump shots, and they just missed it. That's just basketball. So my point is that I can see Bucks Celtics, let's say Eastern Conference Finals series. Both teams are healthy, and it goes 6 7 games. Bucks win, and then the Celtics, they put up a couple stinker games where like they have a lot of open looks from three. Like maybe Derrick White has like goes like 0 for 7 from three, or Tatum he goes like 2 for 9 from three, and that contributes to the Celtics jacking up and missing a bunch of 3 pointers. And then they end up, and then that might be the main reason why they lose the series to the Bucks is because you live by the three, you die by the three.
2018 Rockets situation.
Perfect example. That's why.
Okay, I think that Boston is more diverse than the 2018 Rockets though, because Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, they have two ISO scorers. Houston had James Harden. Period. That's it.
And Chris Paul, he can still run pick and roll.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about Chris Paul. Welp.
And they had Eric Gordon too. Eric Gordon was a good, really good bench player for them. I think he won also a 6 man of the year in his tenure with the Rockets
Mm.
too. So that was a good team that had it was a combination of the backcourt: Chris Paul, James Harden, Eric Gordon, his isolation scoring, and then they had shooters around them.
I wanted to ask about
Yeah.
so Milwaukee. You say Milwaukee's your favorite, and you say that because they don't live and die by the three.
No. I think a healthy Damian Lillard and a healthy Giannis. Oh, and healthy Chris Middleton. I think they could be the ones that go to the finals.
Because you got Giannis clogging up the paint, and
Dominate the paint.
like yeah, you don't have to rely on the three for sure. Huh?
No. And thing is too, they were not a good 3-point shooting team when they won the 2021 NBA Finals. So there's no question that they can get back to the finals. The Bucks, they are a team that they defensively, they will make sure that you will not get into the paint. No easy shots at the rim. And then on the offensive side of the ball, man, if Dame and Giannis run that pick and roll, either you gotta take away Dame's logo 3-pointer coming off the screen, or you gotta stop Giannis from going downhill. It's a pick your poison.
Mm. Man, that's a great argument. My favorite, Mag. is the Los Angeles Lakers. Just kidding. Um, I don't have I don't have one right now.
You want to stay on the East?
Hold on. Actually,
Okay.
I'm not. What if I did say the Lakers? Would that be too far?
Not at all. You got LeBron James.
You got
Hard to bet.
Rui.
It's hard to bet against Braun.
Mm. We didn't make any major off-season season signings besides Bronny though.
And sometimes the best move is no move.
Is that chess?
Yeah.
You do have to make a move in chess though.
True. True.
Can I be honest with you?
Always.
I did 3 hours of implicit differentiation in calculus today, and before that, I did an hour of chem, and then before that, I was in calculus class. So I've been doing. I didn't take a break besides eating for 6 hours.
Oh my gosh. Was this also the 7 a.m. class?
Yeah, 7:15 a.m. till about an hour ago. I was grinding on chem and calc.
Brutal.
Yeah. This is tough, man. So I apologize if I'm not here right now. Uh, Let me make an argument for the Lakers.
Go for it.
Anthony Davis is in the prime of his life. LeBron James is LeBron James. Rui Hachimura is Japanese. Austin Reeves looks like Justin Bieber.
Man, I think the West. Again, I think like, Dallas came out of the West last year. They added Klay Thompson, who can still contribute here and there. And even with that, look, I could see the Mavericks, same team, with adding Klay Thompson. They may not even get back to the finals because somebody else could just flat out beat them to get to the finals. The West is actually, I think it's pretty tough to tell. I mean, it could be Dallas, it could be Denver, Minnesota. Oklahoma City's only gonna get better.
Forgot about them. Forgot about them,
They're
man.
super, super young. And they added two outstanding defenders in the offseason in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. So they're a deeper
What?
team.
Caruso's on OKC?
Mm-hmm. That right there is an all-NBA defender on the Thunder.
Jeez. Was it a trade or was it off season?
I think he got traded. Oh, he got traded. So he got traded for Josh Giddey. Straight up, too. Straight up.
Josh Giddey was solid, right?
I think as a former, like, top 10 draft pick, I don't think so. It was crazy because, okay, at the time of the trade, and it still stands to as this moment, like, they straight up traded Caruso for Giddey, and Caruso is straight up the better player. So if Chicago sees something in Giddey that they can potentially get out of him, then I will probably be wrong later down the line. But as of right now, Oklahoma got a steal in getting an All-NBA defender in Alex Caruso.
Nice.
West, like I said, the West, it's gonna be brutal. I mean, you saw it last year where it basically took 50 wins to get into the playoffs last year just to be the 8th seed. Brutal conference. I think Denver should, like I said, Denver should still be in that mix. Dallas should be in that mix. Oklahoma, Minnesota, those are kind of really like the top four. And then, I think Memphis could be legitimately a sleeper pick.
With Ja back.
Exactly, with a healthy John Morant back. Remember, before last season, before John Morant basically played 9-10 games last year, the Grizzlies back-to-back years were a top 2 seed in the West with a healthy team. So with John Morant back in the picture, I would not be surprised if Memphis finishes as a top 2 seed again this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if John Morant is in that MVP conversation.
They just waived Derrick Rose.
Man, Derrick Rose, he legitimately could be the only MVP to not make it into the Hall of Fame.
That's so sad.
It really is. And just looking back in hindsight too, like how he got hurt, we're like, man, the game was already over. Was this game one, 2012? Number one seed Bulls against the 8 seed Sixers, and then he gets hurt. They're up, game's over with like a minute left. He gets hurt. Like,
Do you think that if he rested or went to the locker room instead of playing that few minutes left, that could have been prevented?
100%. I think that if Derrick Rose doesn't get hurt and he would stay on the Bulls, and maybe during those 8 years where LeBron made 8 straight finals, I think Derrick Rose gets Chicago to at least one NBA finals in those years.
I want to ask the other question again.
Yeah.
I want to probe it. I want to elaborate on it. Because if it was that easy for him to get hurt, what is to say that the next game that doesn't happen in the first few minutes?
I don't know. And see, now you
'Cause it's
bring
not
me
like they were going to do an x-ray if
Right.
nothing happened. Why would you do an x-ray if nothing happened?
right. See, that's the other point you bring up too. Like, if he gets hurt in like the first couple minutes of the game, and like that's his season, then like it is what it is. I'll
Either
live with
way,
that.
yeah.
But like, I can't live with him. Like, game's over and he gets hurt.
Either way, that's he's either way he's done. His career is done in that series. You know, his play style. That's just his play style. It's too explosive. It's too much
Very true.
strain.
See Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, John Morant, man. I'm 2-3 years, maybe less. It's just not like Zion, man. It's already happening.
I see exactly what you're
Vince
saying.
Carter, Tracy McGrady,
I think I see what you're saying.
Grant Hill.
I think that. How about this? Rose, he doesn't get hurt. He doesn't have like that ACL injury, but he still has still has like a longer prime. And then once he reaches like age 30, and then that's when he'll decline. He's still his prime is still there, but then he will decline later on because of his play style.
Gradually would have been nice.
Yes, gradually. Instead of just completely falling off a cliff after tearing his ACL.
Yeah.
I think that when an NBA player gets traded, it is only right and logical that they find out through their agent first, not through Twitter, through Shams, through Woj, or any of those sources.
Can you imagine working at a place for even a year and then finding out that you will be relocated without question, without asking, and not even that, but you're not told from your supervisor. You find out from scrolling through Twitter.
It would hurt. And it's not that just that too, but like there can be fake stuff out there where like there's NBA meme pages they put out where like, this player got traded. Could you imagine seeing as that player scrolling on Twitter and you see that meme page that you got traded? You think you got traded, and then for a second, and then you realize that, oh, you actually didn't get traded.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of just trying to go into the mind of NBA players when they get traded, and also too, where like once they get traded, like especially during like the season where they only have basically like 48, 72 hours to change teams, they have to move their families, kids gotta change schools, and then like a lot of NBA players, they have all these shoes. They gotta pack boxes of all these crazy shoes to their new location. So it's a lot to think about when you consider what the NBA players, what the process is like when they get traded.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot to think about. People don't think about it, but it's a lot to think about. Schools are being relocated. They just made friends. The kids just made friends. The wife just got acquainted at the church. But nope, you got 2 or 3 days to move from LA to New York.
Fun times for those players.
No questions asked because you're on a contract.
Mm-hmm. Although I think both players and the front office, they do need to honor the contracts, and like there needs to be changes in a lot of those where the players, they should be honoring their contracts, play out their contracts, not holding out. Same thing, the front offices, they should be honoring the contracts and not trading the players so early into the contracts. Like it's kind of like one of those like unwritten rules that do need to be written.
Mm. Fair point, Smack.
Mikal Bridges, currently the New York Knicks wing, when he was traded from Phoenix to Brooklyn, he found out through FaceTime through one of his teammates.
Which teammate?
I don't think it was Cam Johnson. It was somebody else.
How did they find out before him?
See, that's a great point that you made. Like that's not how it should be. It should be that when a player gets traded and it's official, that the front office tells the agent first, and then the agent can get it to that player, to his client, allow the player to digest that information for a couple minutes, and then break the news publicly on Twitter, and then get the news out to Shams and Woj.
Did you see what happened with Derrick Rose when he got traded?
I saw that video. I think I know what you're talking about.
Sad, huh?
Yeah, real sad.
Started crying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember Jeremy Lin talking about when he got traded to the Lakers? And first thing he said was he started comparing himself to the other player.
Mm.
He said he couldn't help it. I think he got traded for Derek Fisher? No. I don't remember.
Well, it is a business, but I think how the NBA like gets the players in on the know that they've been traded. I think they can easily change that word. It just makes a lot of sense because you do need to factor in the human element into it. Well, that's fun.
What is this?
I don't know what you do with that.
Mac, I'm gonna give you a scenario.
Okay.
Pretend you are an all-star. You're getting 35 minutes a night
Okay.
in the Midwestern city of Cleveland.
Okay. So I'm in LA.
You're basically if Anthony Davis was forced to go to Cleveland. You're traded to Cleveland, where there's already Evan Mobley,
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. There's the big man position is like they traded a point guard for Anthony Davis for some reason. They traded
Right.
Donovan Mitchell.
They traded Darius Garland, somebody.
Yeah,
Sure.
and you have to play less minutes, and you have to live in Cleveland
Okay.
instead of sunny LA.
Okay.
What do you do?
So that means I go to from LA to Cleveland. So I basically do like the LeBron, but like in reverse.
Yeah,
I mean, I would rather be in LA just as long as if Cleveland maximizes my potential to win, I'm good. I'll make the sacrifices to change positions.
Are these the thoughts that are going through your head as you're walking off the jet into Cleveland?
Yes. Yes. As I am getting off that first class airplane, going into Cleveland, if I can win here in Cleveland, not LA, this is my best chance of winning, I will take it.
What if it's not? What if it's not your best chance of winning? What if LA had a better chance of winning?
And I have to be in Cleveland, right?
Yep.
Then I will be a team player. I will play my contract out in Cleveland, give it my all, my best ability to win until my contract's up, and then I'll go from there.
You're such an optimistic dude.
I want to be the best team player that I can be.
You're a great team player.
I
You're,
appreciate that.
you know what you are. You know who is resembling. Let me reset. Mac, do you know which player resembles you the most?
Who?
Starts with the H,
H.
and his last name starts with a J.
H and then a J. Who's got initials HJ?
You? Are you serious, Mac?
I'm blanking, dude.
Bro,
I'm blanking.
you remind me of Herb Jones. Come on.
Oh my gosh! How could I do that? I can't believe I did that.
This man talks about Herb Jones as if he's an evangelist for Jesus, but instead it's for Herb Jones, man. And he could not get the initials for HJ. Mac,
Okay.
you know why you're like Herb Jones?
Why?
Because you're not you're okay being in the back and not in the limelight, and you're a Swiss Army knife. You can do everything. You can average almost 40, 50, 90. You can play great defense, guard one through five.
I
That's why
have
you're Herb
no
Jones.
problem. I have no problem with that. As long as we win, I'm good with that.
You're on the Pelicans. You're not going.
You got me there. Okay, I know top of my head. Herb Jones' middle name is Keyshawn. So maybe if you said HKJ,
Bruh,
then I
no one
possibly
knows
got
his
it.
middle name's Kayshawn except you and his mom. That's it.
That's true. That's true. Although I am the opposite of Herb Jones because Herb Jones does not say a word. Me, I just yap all day. I will chit chat. I will talk all day.
And we love you for that. You want to help? You want to wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you for watching the Hui and Mac show. Oh, sorry. Thank you for watching the Mac and Hui show. Thank you for watching the Mac and Hui show,
I'm Mac.
and I'm Hui. Any parting words?
No, thank you so much
You
for
sure?
tuning in. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I have something to say.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
That's her show in the nutshell.